are safe at your home, right? Today we will start our new chapter. Chapter number 2 is the human system. In this chapter we will discuss all the system present in our body for the various life processes, right? Firstly, we will discuss about the organ and organ system. You know that cell is the basic unit of our life. It is the fundamental unit of life, right? Because we are eukaryotes and we are multicellular organism, and we are the very like well developed kind of animal, so we have organ system kind of body, right? Few organism in vertebrata also there are organism which have one cell for their life processes is called the cellular level of organization. Cell organized to form the tissue, and the tissue organized to form the organ, and organ organized to form the organ system, and organ system make an individual actually. So we have organ system kind of body organization, right? We have organ system in our body for performing the various life processes which are very essential for the living, simply you can say that, right? Very first in that case is the digestive system. Actually in multicellular organism, because they have multi cells and multicellular form tissue, organ and organ system, so there is the division of labor is occur in that cases in multicellular organism. Division of labor simply is that one organ or one organ system perform one function, another organ and organ system perform the another function, but they are connected to each other simply. For example, the digestive system, this system actually help for the digestion of the complex food into the simple food, but this digested food is utilized or oxidized in the presence of the oxygen, which actually performed and which actually go through with the respiratory system only, and it means respiratory system help for the oxidation of the food. After the oxidation, there are few toxic gases are produced as well as toxic substances are produced, which are refined and transported by the connecting tissue is called the blood or the circulatory system. After this, the waste material goes out from your body with the help of the excretory system simply, and instead of all these systems, we have another important system is that the reproductive system, which actually help for the production of new organism, because the production of new organism is also a very important function in human beings simply. So today we will discuss about the digestive system. In digestive system, the function of this system is actually for the conversion of the complex organic food into the simple inorganic substances, simple inorganic raw material simply, to utilize and to convert it into the ATP or energy currency simply, you can say that. So this is the function which is performed by the digestive system. Actually the digestive system consists the alimentary canal, this is the alimentary canal, the whole alimentary canal, as well as the digestive glands, which perform to help the digestive system for performing the digestion simply. It means the conversion of complex food into the simple food. So this is the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal actually start from your mouth, which is connected with the pharynx also, right? Mouth is lead into the straight tube is called the esophagus. It is approx 25 centimeter long. Esophagus is connected with the stomach, is a J-shaped structure which actually have capability to store the food for the long time in your the alimentary canal. And digestive stomach connected with the small intestine and the large intestine. So this is your alimentary canal. Instead of this alimentary canal, we have various gland also. For example, the salivary gland present in your mouth, the gastric gland which is present in the stomach, gallbladder which also help in the digestion, liver is the largest gland of your body, right? In the small intestine, there is a gland is present, is called the intestinal gland simply, right? And one more, a leaf like structure is called a pancreas, and which act as a, which release the pancreatic juice, also act as a endocrine gland, exocrine gland in case of digestion. Pancreas actually act as a exocrine gland also, because it release the hormone for conversion of glucose into glycogen and glucose into glucose. So it release hormone, so it is also called the endocrine gland, which we will discuss during the endocrine system. Here the pancreas actually release the pancreatic juice, which help for the digestion of the protein. Mouth consists the salivary gland, which actually help for the digestion of carbohydrate only, because the salivary gland release the enzyme salivary amylase, or you can say that the ptyalin, the another name of salivary amylase. This help for the digestion of carbohydrate only. In the pharynx and esophagus, there is no digestion takes place because there is no digestive enzyme. After this, your food goes into the stomach. Stomach consists the gastric juice, which have various enzyme for the digestion of protein actually. And after this, the food goes into the small intestine. The maximum digestion and absorption of the food takes place in the small intestine only, right? So the main step for the digestion of the food is, the firstly we will take the food inside your body. It means digestion of food started. After the digestion of food, assimilation of food takes place, and after the assimilation, the waste material which is extracted or which is remaining after the digestion of the food is expelled out from your body. Expelled out, yeah, excrete out, simply you can say that, right? So firstly we will discuss about the mouth, which is present here, because the digestion actually start from the mouth, right? Mouth consists teeth, and a muscular organ is called the tongue, right? Tongue is present at the base of the buccal cavity or the floor of the buccal cavity, and teeth of human is heterodont type of, and thecodont. It means they are present in the socket, they are present in the jaw line, right? Jaws are present in our mouth, in which teeth are embedded. Because we are heterodont means we have different type of teeth for the different function. For example, incisor, which whose main function is the cutting, which are present in front, and the canines are present in the lateral side. Actually, it help for the tearing of the food and any other particles. And the premolars and molars actually help for the mastication of the food. So these different type of teeth perform different function in your body. And we have phyodont type of teeth. It means we have two type of teeth. First is the milk teeth, which are actually 20 in number, which are temporary, which are replaced by the permanent teeth. And next is the permanent teeth, or permanent teeth are actually 32 in number in human beings. And the dental formula in human being is 2 1 2 3 and 2 1 2 3. It is the half portion of the this number is the half portion. 2 is the incisor, 1 is the canine, 2 is the premolar, and 3 is the molar. This is the upper half portion dental formula, and this is the lower half. Similarly, the another half is same in that case only. So this is the dental formula in human being, in which 2 is incisor, 1 canine, 2 premolars, and then 3 molars simply. So this is about the teeth. Next is your tongue. Tongue also help for the digestion of food, because mouth consists salivary gland. Salivary gland release the salivary amylase. The mixing of this amylase into the food, and the mixing of the mucus into the food for softening, for making it soft, and making the fasting the simply you can say that the digestion process start fastly when the amylase is mixed with the food and mucus is mixed with the food. Mucus actually help for the softening of the food. One more important thing of tongue is that it help to make a bolus like structure of the food, of your food, which you intake. Firstly, intake means ingestion. Firstly, we will ingest the food into the mouth only. First part which started of digestion is from the mouth. Instead of this, tongue have various taste buds also, which is called papillae, which decide the taste of the food, and these are also called the taste buds. We have various taste buds for various tastes. For example, for the sour, for the chili, for the sweet, and for the salty. We have different taste buds for different tastes simply in on our teeth, on our tongue only. right? So tongue also help for the softening the food after the mixing of the food, and when you ingest your food into the mouth or put your food onto the tongue, immediately the salivary amylase or even the digestion is started already of the carbohydrate, because salivary amylase actually help for the digestion of carbohydrate only. Then carbohydrate digestion immediately start in your mouth, but only 30 to 40% carbohydrate is digested in your body, in your mouth only, because your food is present in your mouth, remain your mouth for very short time period. After the mastication of the food, or making a bolus of the food with the help of the mucus and salivary amylase, it immediately goes into the stomach. So because the food is remaining for very short time in your mouth, so only 30 to 40% digestion of carbohydrate takes place in the mouth. The remaining digestion takes place in the small intestine, right? Next is your pharynx. Pharynx is actually present at the back side of the frenula linguale. Actually this is the connection of your tongue from the buccal cavity, where the point where the tongue is attached your buccal cavity is called frenula linguale. Linguale means tongue simply. So it is present behind this attached part, behind this frenula linguala simply. So pharynx is actually the common path for the esophagus and for the trachea simply. So there is one opening for the trachea is called glottis, which is covered by a covering or a sphincter, you can say, that is called the epiglottis, which cover the glottis area or trachea area during we will ingest the food simply, to avoid the entering of food into the trachea, because trachea does not have any kind of digestive enzyme, so there is no digestion of food takes place in case of trachea. If your food particle is enter into the trachea, there is maybe the chances of blockage of the trachea and may cause death also if no backflow of the food takes place simply, because trachea does not have capability to digest the food and the food particle may block your trachea, so respiration does not takes place in that condition, right? So during the digestion, when you will take the food, immediately the epiglottis cover the glottis. Simply you can say that these are the two openings. This is the pharynx. One opening is for the respiratory tract and one opening for the alimentary canal. This pore is called glottis, which is covered by a sphincter like a covering, which is called epiglottis. When you will take the food, if your food is enter here, right? If your food particle is enter here, there is possibility for the blockage of trachea, because trachea does not have digestive enzyme. So to avoid this problem, glottis have and covering or sphincter is called epiglottis simply. Next is your esophagus. Esophagus is a long tube, approx 25 centimeter long tube. But esophagus wall release mucus, but there is no digestive enzyme in esophagus. So due to the lack of digestive enzyme and absence of digestive enzyme in the esophagus, there is no possibility of digestion of food takes place in the esophagus. It is the passage only for the pass of the food from the mouth to the stomach only. It is the passage, it is the way through which your bolus, which is made into your mouth, goes into the stomach with the help of a movement is called peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement. What is the meaning of this movement? Actually, the wall of the esophagus consists the smooth muscles, and the smooth muscle have capability of contraction and relaxation. They have capability to contract at one time and then relax. Due to this contraction and relaxation, actually your bolus, bowl-like structure which is formed into your mouth, goes into the esophagus. Firstly it contract, then relax, then it move downward, then it contract, then it move downward, it contract, then it move downward, and your food goes into the stomach simply. So due to this contraction and relaxation, the bolus goes into the stomach, and this contraction and relaxation actually called the peristaltic movement. And due to this movement, because there is no any source in the esophagus to move your food esophagus into the stomach, so with the help of this movement, the food enter from the mouth into the stomach. So this is called the like peristaltic movement. One more important thing about the alimentary canal is that, for example, the esophagus is attached to the stomach, so there is a sphincter present, there is a valve, or there is a covering is present between the esophagus and the stomach. It means when the food goes from the esophagus into the stomach, there is no possibility of the backflow of the food, because when it enter into the stomach, the valve or the sphincter become closed and food does not backflow into your esophagus and mouth simply. In particular condition only, when you are, for example, your stomach get infected because your food is contaminated and consists various microorganism and bacteria which grow, because stomach is the organ which store the food for very long time, approx 1 to 2 hour carbohydrate, 2 to 3 hour the protein and the vitamins, and 3 to 4 hour fat molecules are present here in the stomach, right? So if your food is contaminated, consists various microorganism and the bacteria, you can say that, so due to the food is stored for the long time, there is possibility for the multiplication of these microorganism and bacteria which infect your food. In that condition only, the backflow of the food takes place into the from the esophagus to your mouth in the form of vomiting, only in that case, right? Otherwise there is no possibility of backflow of the food from the stomach into the esophagus. One more thing is that stomach actually consists a gastric gland which release a HCl, concentrated HCl, acid release into the stomach with the help of gastric gland. Actually, due to this acid, the inactive protein digestive enzyme form into or active convert into an active form and digest the protein, simply you can say that. In the absence of HCl, there is no possibility of conversion of inactive protein enzyme into the active form simply. So sometime if your stomach is empty, in that condition, and HCl is released, so it may cause some leakage of the HCl from the sphincter of the esophagus, and there is the possibility of burning of the esophagus lining. This is called the heart burning. Sometimes we feel the burning here area, right? So this is actually due to the leakage of some amount of HCl, and which burn your esophagus lining and which cause a burning sensation, which is called actually the heart burning, right? This is about the mouth, pharynx and esophagus. Stomach we will do in our next lecture.